Have you ever wondered what your life could truly feel like if you released the habits, fears, and pressures that no longer serve you? What if, after 60, you discovered that holding on to certain patterns is quietly stealing your peace of mind? And most importantly, what could happen if you chose to let them go today? If you're over 60, chances are you've spent decades working hard, raising a family, and caring for others. But now, as you step into this new chapter, whether it's retirement, reinvention, or simply your well-earned time, something powerful is waiting. This video reveals 9 essential things to stop doing after 60 for a longer and more fulfilling life. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you deserve more joy, peace, and freedom. Stay with me until the end, because the final lesson could change the way you wake up tomorrow morning. Before we begin, I'd appreciate it if you liked this video. Your support helps me continue sharing these important lessons for healthy aging. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future videos. And if you'd like, let me know in the comments. Press number 1 if this video resonates, or 0 if it doesn't, so I can keep improving the content for you. Now, let's get started. First, stop saving money out of fear. As you enter your 60s and beyond, one of the most transformative steps is letting go of the habit of saving out of anxiety. At first, this may sound unsettling, even radical, especially if you've always embraced financial caution. From childhood, many of us were taught to save for emergencies, for retirement, for the proverbial rainy day. That mindset, rooted in prudence, likely helped you build stability and security through years of hard work. Yet after 60, when you've reached the stage of life you've long prepared for, clinging to fear-based saving can quietly erode your ability to live fully in the present. The essence of saving is to provide for your future self, to ensure comfort, security, and freedom to live on your terms. But what happens when that future is no longer a distant milestone, but the reality you're living today? What happens when you've already saved enough, perhaps more than enough, yet you still hesitate to spend, gripped by endless what-ifs? I've seen this pattern many times. Take the story of a retired accountant in his late 60s, whom I'll call Robert. With over $2.5 million in retirement accounts, a fully paid-off home, and no debts, Robert was financially set for life. His financial planner confirmed he could live comfortably for decades, even accounting for unexpected expenses. Yet whenever his wife suggested a vacation to Europe, a new hobby like woodworking, or even a simple kitchen upgrade, Robert's answer was always the same. What if we need that money later? What if the economy crashes? His fear was understandable, built from a lifetime of careful planning, but it was paralyzing him, keeping him from enjoying the life he had worked so hard to secure. One day, I asked him, what if later doesn't unfold the way you expect? What if you never get to enjoy the joy you've been saving for? That question stayed with him. In the following months, Robert began experimenting with small, intentional acts of spending. He and his wife took a weekend trip to a coastal town, then later joined a cooking class they both loved. These choices didn't dent his savings, but they enriched his life, reminding him that money is a tool for living, not just a shield against uncertainty. If your financial foundation is solid, your housing, healthcare, and basic needs covered, then your savings are not only for emergencies. They are also for creating moments of joy, fostering connections, and embracing the life you've earned. This doesn't mean abandoning fiscal responsibility or ignoring future risks. Instead, it's about trusting the plans you've already made and allowing yourself to spend wisely. Take that trip you've always dreamed of, whether it's a week in Paris or a simple road trip to a national park. Buy a thoughtful gift for your grandchild, upgrade to a more comfortable car, or treat yourself to a meal that becomes a treasured memory. After 60, the focus shifts from merely surviving financially to to thriving emotionally and experientially. It's time to let go of the fear that keeps you clinging to resources and begin using them to build a life that feels vibrant and meaningful. Your money should serve as a tool for connection, for adventure, and for joy, not just as protection for a future that may never unfold the way you imagine. The second key change after 60 is to stop spending on what doesn't bring you true joy. Once you've released fear-based saving, the next step is making sure your spending aligns with purpose and flows toward what genuinely enriches your life. It's easy to fall into spending traps driven by habit, social expectations, or unexamined impulses. We buy things to impress others, to meet obligations, or to fill emotional voids we haven't fully acknowledged. But at this stage of life, your resources, both financial and emotional, deserve to be directed with intention, fueling a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. I once worked with a woman named Susan, a lively 72-year-old who came to a striking realization about her own habits. For years, she had spent thousands on what she called autopilot purchases, designer outfits she rarely wore, lavish gifts for distant relatives given out of duty, and high-tech gadgets bought on sale but never used. Instead of joy, these left her feeling drained and unsatisfied. When I asked Susan to recall a spending decision that truly mattered, her face lit up. She described the $600 plane ticket she bought to surprise her sister on her 70th birthday. That weekend, the laughter, the shared stories, the quiet moments over tea became a treasure she carried in her heart, far more valuable than the fleeting thrill of any shopping spree. That experience became her guidepost. From then on, Susan began redirecting her money toward what truly resonated. She hosted small family gatherings, subscribed to a local theater season, and supported a community garden she loved. After 60, spending should reflect your priorities, a conscious choice to invest in what brings you joy and meaning. This shift requires pausing to ask, what do I value most? For some, it may be travel, whether a dream trip to Japan or a simple getaway to a lakeside cabin. For others, it could mean nurturing relationships, like funding a grandchild's music lessons or hosting weekly dinners with friends. Sometimes it's practical, such as investing in a high-quality mattress for better sleep, or even indulgent, like finally taking that pottery class you've always wanted. Whatever it is, let it be yours, chosen with clarity and heart. Just as important is releasing the kind of spending that feels heavy or hollow. Let go of the pressure to chase trends, to buy gifts out of guilt, or to maintain appearances for people whose opinions don't truly matter. At this stage of life, you owe no one an explanation for how you choose to live or spend. And remember, joy doesn't always come with a high price tag. Some of life's most meaningful moments are free or cost very little. A sunset walk with someone you love, a heartfelt letter to a dear friend, or an afternoon lost in the pages of a good book. Before spending, ask yourself, does this truly enrich my life, or does it simply add more clutter to my home or my heart? When your spending reflects your values, life becomes less about accumulating and more about cultivating depth, connection, and purpose. If you're still watching and finding these lessons valuable, let me know by commenting number 1 below. Thank you for spending your time here. The third shift after 60 is to stop trading your time for money, unless that work continues to bring you joy, meaning, or a sense of purpose. For decades, your time and income were inseparable. You worked to provide for yourself and your family, often placing financial security above personal fulfillment. You gave long hours, took on difficult tasks, and endured jobs that may not have inspired you, because that's what was needed to build stability. That sacrifice deserves respect. It's the very foundation of your life today. But after 60, you step into a new chapter where time becomes your most precious, irreplaceable currency. Take a moment to reflect on your relationship with work. Are you still working because it energizes you, connects you to a community, or keeps you aligned with a cause you believe in? Or are you working out of fear? Fear of financial insecurity? Fear of losing your identity? Or fear of facing open space in a life without a defined role? This isn't a call to retire the moment you turn 60. For many, work remains a source of vitality and structure. The key is choosing it consciously, not clinging to it out of habit or anxiety. I once knew a high school history teacher named David who embodied this idea. At 62, he was constantly asked when he would retire. His answer was always the same: when it stopped feeling like a calling. He loved his students, thrived on sparking curiosity, and found deep purpose in shaping young minds. David continued teaching until 67, when one morning he felt a quiet certainty that it was time to move on. He left with gratitude, not regret, and soon began volunteering at a local museum where he shared his passion for history. His story shows the power of working by choice, not by obligation. In contrast, I've met others who remained in draining jobs long after they should have left. Not because they needed the money, but because they didn't know who they were without the title, the routine, or the paycheck. They feared slowing down would leave them adrift, never realizing it was enough to simply be. The truth is, you can always earn more money, but you can never reclaim lost time. No salary can buy back a day, an hour, or a moment once it's gone. If your work still brings energy and joy, embrace it proudly, whether full-time, part-time, or as a passion project. But if it drains your spirit or keeps you from the life you want, it may be time to step away. That choice might open new paths, volunteering, mentoring, or even turning a hobby into a small business. It might mean redefining work as time spent with loved ones or in personal growth. Whatever form it takes, prioritize trading your time for meaning, connection, creativity, or simply the freedom to live on your own terms. You've spent decades trading time for money. Now, let time become your canvas for a life that truly feels your own. The fourth important shift after 60 is to stop putting off the experiences you've always dreamed of. How often have you pushed those dreams aside, saying, "I'll do it someday"? That road trip across the country, that pottery workshop, that visit to an old childhood friend, always postponed for when the kids are settled, when work slows down, or when the timing feels perfect. But someday is not a date you can circle on a calendar. Too often, it becomes a promise never fulfilled. After 60, the urgency to act becomes undeniable, not from fear of running out of time, but from the desire to live richly in the present. I once met a couple, Ellen and Tom, who long dreamed of traveling across the U.S. in a restored Airstream trailer. They had the savings, the time, and the same love of adventure. Yet for years, they delayed. "Next summer," they would say, pointing to small obstacles. A busy season at Tom's consulting job, a family wedding, the need to renovate their guest room. Then, in their late 60s, Tom faced a health scare. It was treatable, but it reminded them just how fragile life can be. That moment became their turning point. They stopped waiting for the perfect time, bought the trailer, and spent 6 months crisscrossing the country. They came back with stories of starry desert nights, quirky small-town festivals, and unexpected friendships at campgrounds. The journey wasn't perfect. There were breakdowns and rainy days, but it was theirs. And it transformed the way they saw their lives. They didn't just take a trip, they claimed a dream. Now, what's the experience you've been putting off? It doesn't need to be a grand adventure. Maybe it's learning the piano, writing down family stories, or reconnecting with a friend you haven't seen in decades. Often the barriers are subtle, but powerful. Fear of change, fear of stepping outside your comfort zone, even fear of putting your desires first. Routine can be an excuse, work can be an excuse, and sometimes even endless planning becomes a way to delay. But the truth is, you don't need permission to start living. You don't need every detail to be perfect. And you are never too old to pursue what makes your heart come alive. Let this be the year you say yes. Take the first step, no matter how small. Research that destination. Sign up for that class. Make that phone call. The world is still filled with wonder, waiting for you to embrace it. After 60, life isn't about winding down. It's about waking up to what matters most. By letting go of procrastination, you open the door to experiences that become cherished stories, memories that brighten your days, and proof that it's never too late to live with courage and joy. As you cross the threshold of 60, another critical habit to release is neglecting your health. This is not just about medical advice. It touches the very core of how you'll experience your later years. Many people, when picturing retirement, focus on how many years they may have left, 15, 25, or even more. But the more meaningful question is, how many of those years will be spent in vibrant health? Without strong physical and mental well-being, the treasures of retirement, whether a generous savings account, a dream vacation, or a beautiful home, lose their meaning. If you lack the vitality to enjoy them, they become hollow. Think about it this way. Would you rather have 20 million in the bank but wake up every day drained, achy, and unwell? Or have 1 million and rise each morning with strength, energy, and zest for life? Most people instinctively choose the latter. Yet, curiously, many still live as if chasing wealth or outside achievements matters more than caring for the very vehicle that carries us through life, our body. The truth is, prioritizing health doesn't demand a dramatic all-or-nothing transformation. You don't need to train for a marathon, follow a rigid diet, or completely overhaul your lifestyle overnight. Small, intentional steps can bring profound results. Start with a simple daily walk in your neighborhood, even just 10 minutes at first. Replace one sugary drink with water or herbal tea. Add gentle morning stretches to loosen stiff joints and improve circulation. If possible, consider joining a local fitness class designed for older adults. Many communities offer yoga, tai chi, or light strength training that's both accessible and social. Strength training, in particular, can be a game changer. With the right guidance, even light resistance work helps maintain balance, preserve muscle, and protect your independence by lowering the risk of falls or injuries. This isn't about chasing a number on the scale or trying to recapture youth. It's about protecting your freedom. The freedom to run after your grandchildren without losing your breath, to explore new places without being slowed by pain, or to simply wake up feeling refreshed instead of exhausted. Your body is the vessel that carries you forward. Like any trusted vehicle, it needs consistent care and maintenance. Neglect allows it to weaken and break down, while nurturing it keeps you moving toward your dreams. The good news is, health is built on momentum, not perfection. All it takes is one small, actionable step to begin. Schedule that overdue doctor's appointment to finally address nagging concerns. Take a short walk this afternoon. Prepare one nourishing meal this week, maybe a colorful salad or a hearty vegetable soup. These simple choices build on each other, creating a ripple effect that can transform how you feel and move through the world. And the best moment to start is now. Every step you take toward better health is truly an investment in a richer, more fulfilling future. If you're still here watching and finding these lessons helpful, let me know by commenting number 2 below. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with me. The 6th habit to let go of after 60 is the weight of worrying about what others think. This shift is liberating, allowing you to reclaim your life on your own terms. For much of our lives, we're shaped by external expectations. We strive to be the devoted parent, the reliable colleague, the accommodating friend, or the model citizen. We follow the scripts society hands us, often suppressing our own desires to avoid judgment or disapproval. But at this stage, it's time to ask yourself an important question. Who am I really living for? I once knew a woman in her mid-60s who had long carried a quiet passion for art. For years, she dreamed of enrolling in a painting class. Yet fear always held her back. What if I'm terrible at it? She thought. What if people think it's foolish for someone my age to start something new? Her hesitation was born from a lifetime of prioritizing other people's opinions over her own joy. But when she was finally encouraged to let go of those fears, she signed up for the class. The result wasn't fame or recognition. She didn't become a world-renowned artist, but she found something far more valuable, a deep sense of fulfillment. Painting became her sanctuary, a space where she could express herself freely, without apology. Most importantly, she gave herself permission to follow what brought her joy, regardless of what others thought. Here's a powerful truth. With age comes the hard-earned right to release the need for validation. The older you get, the less the noise of other people's judgments matters. Want to wear a bright, colorful outfit that makes you smile? Do it. Dream of taking a solo trip to a far-off place? Book it. Feeling drained by family obligations that no longer serve you? It's okay to set boundaries and say no. This isn't about being selfish, it's about being authentic. Living authentically means aligning your choices with your values and desires so that you can look back without regret. Bronnie Ware, a hospice nurse who spent years caring for the dying, recorded their most common regrets in her book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. The number one regret she heard was this: I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Let those words sink in. When you anchor your life to other people's expectations, you risk fading from your own story. You deserve to live fully, vibrantly, as your truest self. So start loosening the grip of external pressures. Release the need to impress or conform. Speak your truth with kindness and confidence. Pursue the passions that spark joy, gardening, dancing, or learning something new. Allow yourself to be seen, quirks and all, because there is only one you. And your uniqueness is a gift. It's never too late to step boldly into your own life, to finally show up as the person you were meant to be. The seventh habit to let go of after 60 is immersing yourself in constant doom and gloom, especially the endless stream of negative news. This advice may surprise you, so let me be clear. I am not suggesting ignorance or turning your back on the world. Staying informed about current events, social changes, and global issues remains essential for being a thoughtful, responsible citizen. Knowledge allows you to make informed decisions, engage in meaningful conversations, and contribute to your community. But there is a vital difference between staying informed and being consumed by a relentless cycle of negativity. Spending hours each day glued to news broadcasts, no matter the channel or political leaning, can leave you convinced that the world is collapsing. The steady flood of crises, conflicts, and catastrophes takes a toll. It fosters stress, anxiety, and fear that don't disappear once the screen is turned off. Instead, they accumulate, weighing on your physical health, clouding your mental clarity, and eroding your peace of mind. Over time, chronic exposure to negativity can raise cortisol levels, disrupt sleep, and even weaken your immune system. Ask yourself this: is all that constant negativity really helping you live longer and better? Have you ever met anyone who, after spending 3 hours glued to cable news, declared, "I feel so refreshed and optimistic about life"? Likely not. In contrast, I've spoken with countless people who shared that stepping back from the nonstop news cycle brought them immense relief. They reported brighter moods, improved mental health, greater hopefulness, and a renewed ability to stay present in their daily lives. The reality is that much of today's news isn't designed simply to inform. It's designed to capture and hold your attention. Fear, outrage, and sensationalism are powerful tools that keep you watching, scrolling, and clicking from one alarming headline to the next. This raises an important question. Is this really where you want to invest your precious attention? After 60, you know better than anyone that your time and energy are finite, invaluable resources. You alone have the power to choose where to direct them. You can fixate on what's broken, divisive, or frightening, or you can seek out what is vibrant, inspiring, and beautiful. Despite the headlines, kindness still thrives. People continue to create art, share laughter, build communities, and perform selfless acts every single day. There is music waiting to be discovered, books to read, skills to learn, and love to nurture. To protect your peace, set intentional boundaries on news consumption. Limit yourself to a single trusted source for a short daily update, maybe 20 minutes from a reputable outlet that values facts over sensationalism. Balance it by seeking stories of resilience, creativity, and human connection. When you feel overwhelmed, give yourself permission to turn off the TV, close the app, or step away from the noise. Ask yourself honestly, has this content equipped me to take meaningful action? Has it enriched my life, or is it only fueling feelings of helplessness and despair? After 6 decades of navigating life's ups and downs, you've earned the right to prioritize your well-being. You deserve moments of joy, peace, and connection, not to live in constant fear or agitation. Focus your energy on what you can truly influence: your relationships, your passions, your community. Let go of the urge to absorb every grim detail of the world's struggles. By doing so, you reclaim your peace of mind and rediscover the beauty that still surrounds you. If you're still watching and finding these lessons helpful, please comment number 3 below to let me know. Thank you for your valuable time. The 8th habit to release after 60 is ignoring your financial plan, or becoming so obsessed with it that it paralyzes you. Striking balance is essential because both extremes can diminish your quality of life in retirement. First, let's talk about those who avoid their finances altogether. You might say, "It's too complicated. I'll deal with it later," or "I can't bear to look at my accounts." This avoidance often comes from fear of making mistakes, facing uncomfortable truths, or feeling overwhelmed by financial jargon. But here's the reality. Ignoring your financial situation doesn't make uncertainty disappear. It magnifies it. Small issues left unchecked can grow into serious problems. After 60, understanding your financial picture becomes even more critical. Retirement often shifts you from earning a steady paycheck to relying on savings, investments, or fixed sources such as Social Security or pensions. This raises important questions. How much monthly income do you need to maintain your lifestyle? Are your expenses sustainable? What if unexpected health problems arise? Do you have safeguards like long-term care insurance or an emergency fund to handle life's surprises? You don't need to become a financial expert overnight, but you do need a clear, workable plan. A trusted financial advisor can help simplify the process. Even simple steps, reviewing your budget, checking balances, or making sure your beneficiaries are up to date, can provide clarity and peace of mind. On the other hand, some people fall into the opposite trap, overanalyzing every detail. They scrutinize each expense, asking, "Will this cup of coffee derail my retirement? If I take this trip, will it ruin my portfolio's tax efficiency?" This kind of hypervigilance often comes from a scarcity mindset or fear of outliving savings. While diligence is wise, obsessing over every penny can rob you of the very freedom your savings were meant to secure. You didn't spend decades working, saving, and investing just to stare endlessly at spreadsheets or second-guess every choice. You did it to live, to savor experiences, pursue passions, and share moments with loved ones. A sound financial plan should act as a foundation, not a straitjacket. Meet with your advisor from time to confirm your investments align with your goals. Make sure essentials like healthcare and housing are covered, and that your plan accounts for both longevity and unexpected challenges. Then, allow yourself to let go of the minutia. Trust that your plan is there to support your life, not control it. One client once shared a perspective that stayed with me. I realized my retirement plan isn't just about the balance in my account. It's about the life I can live because of it. A strong financial strategy doesn't just build a portfolio. It gives you the freedom to say yes to what matters most: travel, helping family, or pursuing a hobby, without fear holding you back. The ninth and final habit to let go of after 60 is living as though you have forever. This isn't meant to stir fear, but to encourage you to approach life with greater intention and urgency. By the time you reach your 60s, you've likely already experienced loss. A parent, a sibling, a close friend, or even a partner. Losing them leaves deep grief, but also a powerful lesson. Life is finite, and its length is uncertain. We know this in theory, yet we often live as though tomorrow is guaranteed. We postpone dreams, delay difficult conversations, or keep waiting for someday to act on our deepest desires. Ask yourself this: if you knew with certainty that this was your final year, how would you live differently? Who would you reach out to? What words would you finally speak? An apology, a declaration of love, or a simple note of gratitude left unsaid? What burdens would you lay down, and what aspirations would you chase without hesitation? Most people can answer these questions with clarity, yet many slip back into routine, deferring action for some distant future. So, what holds you back from taking even a small step toward those priorities today? You don't need a crisis or diagnosis to wake up to the value of the present. You can choose instead to live with full awareness of life's fragility and beauty in each moment. This doesn't mean throwing your life into upheaval or chasing every impulse. It means starting right where you are, with what you have. Forgive someone who hurt you, even if only in your heart. Pick up that project you've shelved. Write your memoir, take a painting class, or plant a garden. Book the trip you've dreamed of. Enroll in that course or simply call someone dear to you. These steps don't require perfection or endless resources. They require courage and a commitment to live fully now. Living with respect for life's impermanence also means letting go of what no longer serves you. Whether it's grudges, self-doubt, or obligations that drain your energy, it's about choosing joy, connection, and meaning over procrastination or fear. You are alive today, breathing with the gift of this moment, and that alone is reason enough to stop waiting and start truly living. When you release the illusion of forever, you gain something far more powerful: the freedom to make every moment count, to weave a life rich with purpose, love, and fulfillment. These are the 9 important things to let go of after 60, so you can open space for more joy, peace, and meaning in your life. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What stood out to you in this video? What is one thing you're ready to put into practice starting today? Share it in the comments below. You never know who your story might inspire. And if you found value here, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more insights to help you live fully at every stage of life. Thank you for spending your time with me. I wish you good health, happiness, and peace. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint.